Picture the scene. A dusty road, two travellers walking away from Jerusalem. Confused, perplexed, dumbfounded by the recent events, trying to make sense of what had happened. Walking together, but alone, on the road to Emmaus. In so many ways, we are very much like these two people. We are confused, perplexed, and dumbfounded. We are trying to make sense of our current situation. Thinking about the gospel passage has reminded me of the pop charts. Yes, I'm not too old not to remember them. Though in my youth, it was about buying the actual vinyl record, not downloading a track from the internet. And what's number one at the moment then? Well, some hints. It's a true classic with a new twist. Written in 1945 for the Rodgers and Hammerstein musical Carousel, and sung many times by many artists and many people, not least the Liverpool Football Club supporters. And now it's been made famous by Captain Tom, who set out to raise £1,000 for NHS charities before his 100th birthday by walking 100 lengths of his garden. As I'm sure you're all aware, he smashed that target, in fact raising over £28.5 million. So what's number one? It is, of course, You'll Never Walk Alone. Captain Tom has captured the country's interest. He has walked on, but not alone, because he has had the country beside him. I'd like to take you back to that dusty road, to walk with the travellers on the road to Emmaus. We know that they were Jesus' followers, but why were they leaving Jerusalem and heading for Emmaus, a journey of about 7 miles? And as they walk, they talk, quite normal you'd say. And when Jesus draws near, his identity hidden, they continue talking. No doubt Jesus could hear every word that they were saying as he walked along with them. They speak of what they know, what they understand, what they have interpreted from the situation. They don't realise that it is Jesus himself walking with them. They tell of the things that happened to this Jesus of Nazareth, a prophet who was considered by God and by all the people to be powerful in everything he said and did. He's been handed over to be sentenced to death, his crucifixion, his disappearance from the tomb. And Jesus responds by reminding them of all the things written throughout Scripture about the Messiah. And still, they don't realise who he is. Finally, when the evening comes and the light is starting to fade, they invite Jesus to stay with them. Jesus is revealed to them in the breaking of the bread. But as soon as they recognise him, he disappears. The two followers of Jesus didn't walk alone because they had hope in their hearts. Jesus came and walked alongside them. Similarly, Jesus walks with us. We may not recognise him, but he's there in many guises. In the person shouting a friendly hello across the street. In the people helping one another. In the smiling face greeting a stranger. In our NHS and caring professions. In the shop assistant there to serve. And so many more. In each of these, we can see the love of Jesus. God has sent us angels to help and encourage us. With the effects of the coronavirus, we may feel that we're walking through a storm, through the wind and through the rain. It is a difficult time for us all. But one thing that we can be sure about is that we don't walk alone. We walk on with hope in our hearts, hope for a brighter and better future. And when we walk with hope in our hearts, we'll never walk alone. Amen.